Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this top 5 camp competition mega compilation. As the title suggests, I'm going to be getting all the old top 5 builds and putting them into, well, multiple big compilations. Let's get cracking. Number 10 spot, we have Andoril with the Mysterious Place build, and I'm telling you now, the attention to detail in this is absolutely fantastic. I don't know how many aneurysms it would take to do some of the things in this build, but I'm guessing it's at least 4. No, 5, most definitely. I mean, for example, take a look at them light boxes on the wall. That's a pretty nice little touch, and I wouldn't have thought to do that, but I mean, would any of you? I don't know, but either way, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Adds a nice little dollop of colour to the build, and it's not just bright in your face things like that either. Take a look at some of the merges that are knocking around. They're 100% spot on, aren't they? Aye, of course they are. I'm still trying to work out some of them, to be honest with you. In truth, Andoril, the only reason that it's not placed higher, this build, is because I couldn't see much of the outside of it. But other than that, it is simply lovely. Absolutely amazing work, and thank you for entering this week. In the number 9 spot, we have Greengrass with this New Year's Eve cake. And I'm telling you something, I can taste the diabetes from here. Now I know, guys, I'm sure many of you have seen cake builds before, and you know how to build them. However, for those that don't, let me just give you a little rundown of how you actually do these so you can appreciate the work that actually goes into them. In order to get a nice clean shape like this, you can't just put down foundations and slap walls on top of them. You need to use blueprints. And you know, to make them blueprints, it takes a lot of faffing around if you want it to look perfect, that is. There really has been a lot of work that's gone into this, and shape aside, just take a look at the decor as well. I mean, that staircase made out of the stones in the middle, absolute perfection. I bloody love it. All in all, it's a solid little build. Greengrass, thank you very much for entering. In the number 8 spot, we have Milne with his Responders build, and if you like your immersive stuff, then this is going to tick all the boxes. Now then, the main build in itself. Yes, it looks like a nice, simple, easy to do structure, but don't let that fool you, mon petit fleur. To get them two slopey boys sitting in the middle there, it takes a load of messing around with offsetting foundations. And if you want a roof like that on your camp, then you're going to have to get a flamethrower trap and have a shed ton of patience. Where this build really excels though, you know, at least in my opinion, is the way that Milne's decorated it. To be brutally honest with you, it's a lot harder to decorate an immersive, scrappy kind of build than it is a modern, clean style of build. Does that make any sense? Yeah, of course it does. Anyhow, Milne has absolutely nailed it with this one. It genuinely looks like something you could stumble across in the wasteland. You know, all the crap that's sitting on the shelves and the way that he's placed down some of the furniture. It's absolutely bloody fantastic. Again, another amazing build. Can you see why I've had to do a top 10? Honestly, thank you so much for entering, Milne. Top work, mate. At number 7, we have Motionless with the new player pit stop. And this is honestly one of the best camp locations on the whole entire bloody map. And I must say, this build fits in absolutely perfectly here. To me, guys, I don't know about you, it looks like some old pre-war house or shop that's been converted into a trading post. Ah, yeah, I think that's the correct term for it. To me, it's a bit of a strange one, this, and I don't mean that as in it's a strange build. I mean it in terms of the materials that have been used to make it. It's a type of build sets you'd usually associate with a modern style build, but for some reason, it's just screaming out immersive to me, and I don't know why, guys. It's a really nice, clean looking structure, but I'm still getting wasteland vibes from it. Like I say, it's a really strange one for me. All in all, this one's got a solid exterior, a really decent interior, which again, is clean, but is somehow still screaming out, I'm immersive. I just can't work it out. Absolutely brilliant work there, Motionless, and thank you very much for entering this week's competition. Well played, mate. Right then, at number 6, and just before we enter the top 5, is Goldfinger with his Love Boat build. And I must say, my friend, das ist sehr schön und gross. I've probably just told him that his cat has lovely nipples, but let's just gloss over that. At least I'm trying. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have an unhealthy obsession with old ships, you know, mainly stuff from the White Star Line, the Titanic, Olympic, all that kind of good stuff. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that is, you know, that's ticking all the bloody boxes. And aside from that, these are quite difficult to build. I've never done a ship with a pointed bow like that, but I believe it does involve a blueprint and a load of titting around. And as you very well know, guys, over on TNG's channel, we appreciate masochism. Couple that with the fact that it's built on water, which in itself poses more challenges, and the fact that it's just, you know, different. This makes it one of my favourite builds of the week. In all honesty, buddy, the only reason it's not placed higher is because of the sheer calibre of stuff that's come into the submissions this week. But honestly, dude, this one was spot on. Thank you very much for entering. So now we come to the top 5, yeah! And we're going to kick it off with a build from one of the legends of the Fallout 76 community. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm hand for Kova Camps, who has recently just come back to the game by the looks of it, and it's nice to see you again, buddy. Now let me just say, Kova has done some amazing camps over the years, but this one, you know, it's up there. I mean, who in the name of Christ doesn't enjoy a good missile truck? Especially one that's been so well made. The time this must have taken, yeah, I wouldn't have even attempted it. Each one of those missiles you see, for example, is one of the new rewards you unlock from the Nuka World on Tour events. And you know, I could be wrong here, but I'm guessing that all of them have been merge glitched into the dumpster. Or some other crazy, ingenious shit has been going down. I don't know. Either way, it looks really time consuming and it looks bloody impressive as well. I mean, just take a look at all those Enclave medallions that have been stacked up to make the platform. That's dedication, that is. Everything is just so well placed and so neat and tidy. It's fantastic. I really do love this one. And look at that there as well. I've just noticed that the vendors loading up the missiles. It's stuff like that that really does, you know, it catches your attention, doesn't it? All in all, Kova, mate, this one was beautifully filmed. The build itself is absolutely spot on, and welcome back to the community, pal. It really is nice to see you building again. Right then, so on to the number 4 spot, and for this week we have Lady H with a Nuka-Cola Agility Arena, and this stood out to me because it's bloody different, isn't it? I mean, I've never seen this before. And of course, it's extremely well made. The attention to detail is absolutely amazing. Take a look at the Nuka-Cola stalls, for example, how they're sunk into the ground as cages. That's bloody ingenuity, if that is. Now, I'm not sure if you've done that particular bit in Worlds or in Adventure mode, but either way, top marks for thinking outside the box. Again, another simply lovely build. The colours were nice and bright, the idea behind it was original and creative, and the whole thing was filmed really well. She's a builder to keep your eye on, this one. Lady H, thank you very much for entering the competition. At number 3, we have Vix with a castle build, and this stood out to me because it is the first time I've seen that prefab portcullis actually used in a decent way. Honestly, trying to build with that thing is like getting kicked in the ballsack repeatedly. It really is a pain in the arse to build around. But Vix has somehow managed it here and absolutely smashed it. It looks like some form of travelling Renaissance fair, you know, like one of the bloody things that you can go in. I don't know, we don't have many of them round here. I don't quite understand how a medieval castle in the wasteland could look immersive, but again, somehow this pulls it off. I could just imagine some self-titled Raider King sitting in here. I don't know, guys, I'm just throwing it out there. The medieval theme continues on the inside as well, and again, Vix, you've absolutely smashed it in here as well. It really does fit in with the rest of the build. It's creative, she's thought outside the box, and it really does look well made and put together. There really is a lot of attention to detail in this one. Vix, thank you very much for entering. Really do appreciate it. What an absolutely marvellous build you've come up with. Right, so now we come to the top 2, and this was bloody difficult. I actually had to get Mrs. TNG in to, you know, help finalise my decision on this one. So here we go. In the number 2 spot, we have Galactic Builds with the Vintage Villa, and this is absolutely gorgeous. The structure itself obviously has modern house vibes, but with that new building set with the wooden beams, it kinda, you know, makes it look slightly older. I can also see a lot of tricky little techniques used here. There's been a lot of foundation offsetting, and the colours that have been used are absolutely stunning. Who would have thought this colour scheme would work so well on a house, but I'm looking at it, so I guess it does. Seriously, mate, the exterior of this is spot on. Chef's kiss right there. And it doesn't stop at the exterior. The interior, again, is full of bright colours, and it just works, unlike Fallout 76 in general. I digress. We've got some cool merge glitches going on as well. My personal favourite is the jukebox merged together with the fireplace. Simply lovely. I must say though, I think the best thing about all this decor is the custom artwork that's been made, and there's a few pieces of it scattered throughout the build, and again, it's ingenuity like this that always surprises me. I mean, how in God's name would you even think of coming up with that? It boggles my mind, it does. This camp was so close to being number 1, and Galactic, thank you very much for entering. You can see how much effort you've put into this, and it really has paid off. What an absolutely amazing camp. Fair play to you, mate. Right then, so here we are at number 1, and who could it possibly be? Well, I'm not going to keep you waiting, so here it is. Congratulations Radrux with your nuclear noodle bar. This was absolutely show-stopping. Top marks all round. The filming for this one was absolutely sublime. It looked like a mini movie, to be 100% honest with you. And the build itself, simply lovely. It's the kind of build that looks like it shouldn't fit into a nuclear wasteland, but it does in a way. And like I said, we've had a couple of them in this lineup this week. But for me, this were the best of the bunch, and it really is giving me Diamond City vibes for, you know, obvious reasons. There really has been some time-consuming and creative build tricks used in this. For example, floating the bar pieces. That isn't an easy endeavour anymore. There's only 2 ways that I know of doing it now, and both of them are an absolute pain in the arse to do. But it's not just about the big obvious things like that as well. It's the little things. For example, stools merged into tables to look like wooden plates. It really is clever. This build is absolutely awesome. I can't think of any other words to describe it. And once again, congratulations on number 1 spot. And as DTD would say, hats off to you, mate. Well done. Coming in at number 5, we have Giacomo with his Hermit's Retreat micro build. I have no idea what that was, and I apologise. Now, this thing, guys, I can give you an aneurysm written all over it. Some of the stuff on this, I have no idea how it's done. But I think we can all agree it looks absolutely bloody fantastic, doesn't it? Ah, of course it does. Personally, my favourite thing about it is the truck bed being hoisted up by the crane. That's clever as shit, that is. I'm not sure if you've done that using the camp module, Giacomo, but either way, it looks like a pain in the arse to do. So, hats off to you. Sorry, hats off to you, mate. Now, Lucy told me she absolutely loves the location of this, and I have to agree with her. How you've managed to get the bugger hanging off the side of a cliff like that is bloody fantastic, especially in such a tight spot as well. And what's that you've put up there? Oh yeah, one of the covered bridge pieces. Again, that's pretty damn impressive, managing to, you know, shoehorn that into place. Fair play to you, man. The inside is just as well done as the outside. You can tell you're taking your time with this. It looks junky, it looks scrappy. All in all, bloody immersive. I love it. Like I said in last week's video, guys, decorating junky builds, in my opinion at least, is a lot harder than modern stuff. You really have got to clutter them up to make it work well. And Giacomo, you've absolutely nailed it with this one. Thank you very much for entering this week, mate. You've done a cracking job, and congratulations on getting in the top 5, buddy. Coming in at number 4 is Kova Camps, and yet again, you have absolutely knocked this one out of the park, bud. I mean, just take a look at it, guys. Do I need to say any more? Nope, I don't. Let's just move away from the... What I love about Kova's builds is he takes all the building restrictions that are in this game, screws them up into a big ball, and launches them at Mach 3 into Todd Howard's head. And if that doesn't make you smile, I don't know what will. Now, I think I mentioned in last week's video, building on water poses its own set of challenges, especially when you have to start messing around with blueprints, and to build a bow like that, then yep, you're gonna have to do it. That bow is simply perfect, and it does genuinely look like the front of a boat. There's so many cool and ingenuitive things used in this build. Take, for example, the radar tower thing. That's been built using the vault railings, and it just looks absolutely spot on. Now, Lucy asked me to tell you, she chose this one because it looks so bloody realistic, and again, I have to agree with her. It looks like a yacht that you see in the real world. Everything from the shape down to the decor is mwah, chef's kiss. Ah, Jesus, that hurt my lips, actually. All in all, mate, absolutely top-class job as ever. It really is nice to see people with fresh and ingenuitive new ideas. And when they're put together this well, it's just an extra cherry on top of the cake. Kova, thank you very much again for submitting, and congratulations on getting in the top 5, bud. Absolutely spiffing job you've done here. Coming in at number 3, we have Hitbit with this bloody fantastic fighter jet. Ah, I can smell the napalm from here. Now then, to state the obvious, guys, this is a pain in the ass to build. I didn't build it, but you can just tell by looking at it, can't you? And as you know, over on TNG's channel, we love masochism. The detail on this is mind-blowing. I mean, just take a look at that nose cone. That's no simple task right there. From what I can make out, that's a load of the red tool chest merge glitched into the race car bed, I do believe, with a load of chem boxes merged into that as well. Yep, that's at least 72 aneurysms in one little part of this build. Massive goddamn respect. Everything on this build is so well put together. I mean, look at the engines as well. I think they're the new Morat generators. I say new, they've been out a few months, but we'll just gloss over that. Even the simple stuff like the Enclave medallions on the wings. Now, I could be wrong a bit, but are they supposed to be where the wings can, you know, fold inwards? I don't know, I'm not a flight engineer, but either way, that's bloody intelligent, that is. Again, this is another ingenuitive camp. I've seen many planes built in Fallout 76, but never one to this standard, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Lucy made a brilliant choice with this one, and you get extra points from me for featuring Leather Daddy. All in all, absolutely perfect work here, Hitbit. Congratulations on getting into the top 5, and thank you very much for submitting. All we're missing now is a train, and then we have the complete collection. Anyhow, moving on to number 2 spot, and who is it this week? Well, judging by the list in front of me, it appears that we have a Raker Wolf, and this is a really smart concept, this one. Raker hasn't just built one camp. Oh no, she's built 2 of the buggers. And when Lucy told me she absolutely loved the idea behind this, you know what? I had to agree with her yet again. What Raker's done is built this simply lovely modern home we've got here, which in itself, guys, is gorgeous. I mean, come on, look at it. The exterior, that's got to be 10 out of 10, hasn't it? The kitchen, again, another 10 out of 10, easily. And just look at that staircase over there, made out of the little benches. They can be quite finicky to get right. There's a bit of effort gone into them. Now then, the normal person would just be happy with this camp and leave it be. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, it's a decent camp. One thing you should know about Raker, though, ladies and gentlemen, is she is far from normal. And like any other mildly insane person would do, she decided to drop a nuke on her own camp. Simply lovely. That is next level dedication. That's not the end of this one though, guys. Once the camp had been destroyed, Raker rebuilt it as if it was, 25 years after the bombs had fell. I guess you could say she's added a little bit of scrap to it. Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly. No longer is it the clean, pristine, feel the beat of the tambourine modern house that it once was. It's now got a little bit of a junky vibe to it. And it genuinely does look like an old house that's been patched up after the Great War. Now, a lot of people complain about modern houses, how they're not immersive to the game, but this just goes to show you can have an immersive modern house. It just requires you to, think outside the box a little bit. Honestly, Raker, I really did like the idea behind this one, and I'm so glad that Lucy chose it to be in the top 5. Again, thank you so much for submitting this week, and congratulations on number 2 spot. Well deserved. Right then, who do you think's got number 1 spot? I've got to say, there's been a lot of decent submissions this week, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave you waiting for just a little while longer. Oh, I'm a bugger, aren't I? And there is a good reason for this, because it's time for the Honourable Mention section. Yes, and this week it's gone to Sweetie with the Burning Cactus Camp. Jesus Christ. Honestly... I don't know what to say about this one. It's truly unique. Now, to put this into a little bit of context, in my Discord, we have an Order of the Cactus section, and it's all about phallic-shaped cactuses. Don't ask. It's honestly like a crystal meth-induced party over in my Discord. Anyhow, thank you again, Sweetie, for this submission. Like I said, it truly is different. I hope to see some more weird and wonderful stuff like this again. Right then, so let's get back to the top 5. The number 1 spot this week goes to, drumroll please, Nightcrawler with his Jaws-inspired boat build. Now, I'm not a fan of Jaws, I've never seen it, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. But according to Lucy Jane, this build looks exactly like the Orca, which I'm guessing is some form of seafaring vessel from the movie. I don't know. What I do know, however, is this is a properly decent camp, and again, it's a tricky one to build. It's on water and there's bows involved, and I like a complicated bow. Now then, when we take a look at Kova's build and we put it next to this one, this has a totally different feel to it. This one feels rough and ready, as if it's an actual working boat. Like it's out there every day on the water putting in an hard day's graft. You know what I'm saying, don't you? There's also some solid merges in this build. I mean, take a look at this oxygen tank, I think it's supposed to be. I could be wrong, but I do believe that's the top of a weapons workbench. Very, very clever, that is. Honestly, guys, I don't know where some of you come up with these ideas. Truly is mind-blowing, to be honest with you. And come on, guys, take a look at that diving cage at the back there. Again, the creativity with that is just next level. This is honestly up there with one of the best builds I've ever seen. It's been put together really well, and it's not shouty and in your face. It takes a couple of times of looking at it to see the attention to detail and the little tricks that have been done to put it together. And I'd love to say that it's true to the film Jaws, but I can't because I've never bloody seen it, so I do apologise for that one, but I'm sure it's spot on. Lucy says it is, so that is good enough for me. Nightcrawler, congratulations on the number 1 spot. Really is deserving of it, this build, and thank you for taking the time to enter, pal. Hats off to you, mate. Fucking hell, mate. Right then, to kick it off, in the number 5 spot, we have the legend himself. He's back from a long hiatus from 76. It's Stole Your Goddamn Sweet Roll, everybody. Now then, for everyone who's not, aware of Stole Your Sweet Roll, this guy is an absolute master builder, let me tell you. And I will even go as far as saying that this guy probably invented a fair few of the camp building tricks that you use on your own builds. And come on, when you take a look at his hillside bungalow, it's not hard to see why, is it? This thing is a work of bloody art. And some of the techniques used to make it is just... I wouldn't even know where to bloody begin. We have underpinnings, we have some roof pieces doing funky shit, and I mean, come on guys, just take a look at that TV unit. And that's not it either. To top it all off, he even has a massive dick. I mean, sorry, an absolutely massive deck. Yeah, simply lovely. Now yes, obviously, the outside is rather quite striking, but the interior is just as well put together as the exterior, yeah. And it just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't have to plaster your whole build with merges to make it, look half decent. Now, yes, obviously there is some merge glitches and a few tricky little bits to do, then floating counters, for example. But it's not absolutely plastered in it, is what I'm trying to say to you. It's actually quite a simple design, but it works really well. Sometimes less is more. Just ask my wife if you don't believe me. Ooh, that's a rather nice skylight you've got there, Sweet Roll. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you've done that by layering roof pieces on top of each other. Like I say, I think I'm on the right track, but the way your mind works, I could be totally off it. All in all, mate, an absolutely stunning build. Really good job, pal, and it's nice to see you back in the community. Thank you very much for entering this week, buddy. I know how much time you put into this, and it really has come out bloody fantastic. Right then, guys, just before we get to number 4, I'd just like to make you all aware that Raker Wolf is your judge this week. Now, Raker helps out in a shed ton of discords across the community, so if you could go over to her channel, show her some love, I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. Back to the top 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Maka. Now, I apologise, mate, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name properly, so for the purposes of this video, you're now called Maka Lad. Is that alright? Yeah, of course it is. Now, our lad Maka has done something that you don't see many builders doing, and that is making a camp around one of the substations. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you hadn't guessed already, you can build around said substations, and they do give you power as well. Now, this build is a Brotherhood of Steel research facility, and from the outside, it does give you that kind of vibe, doesn't it? It's minimalistic, the materials used on it fit it down to the ground. Yeah, it's spot on in my opinion. Now, Reka told me she absolutely loved the interior of this build, especially with the meteor being held up by the power armor stands. And you know what? Yeah, that's actually really cool, that. We're going to bring up my favourite word, ingenuitive. Yes, that's what it is, 100%. I love how you've decorated the place as well, mate. It's very industrial looking, but also quite scrappy as well. And the way you've got those substation components actually inside of the build, yeah, that's top notch, that is, pal. Building around pre-existing structures can be a real kick in the penis, guys, but Maka, you have absolutely nailed this one, lad. Thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on making it into top 5. Hats off to you, mate. Now then, coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Epic Face, yeah! With dumpster dustings, water treatment and bar. How very appetising. I can just taste the cholera from here. Anyway, if you like scrappy builds, this one's going to get you a little bit excited. Insert that's what she said joke here, please. Thank you. This build is properly junky, guys. I mean, just look at it. It's right in front of you. Everything from the Toxic Valley location to its overall design just screams, I've been built in the wasteland. In my opinion, not that it matters much, when you mix and match materials like Epic Face has done here, it does give that ramshackle kind of look. And it really is a simple way to give you an immersive build. Honestly, try it. Grab a couple of building materials, throw them all together, and you may be surprised what you come up with. The decor on this place, though, is where it really shines. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. It is harder to decorate a scruffy style build than it is a clean build. You have really got to go full force with the clutter, and Epic has absolutely killed it with this one. I know, that is clever. Look at that floating table with the power wires on it to make it look like it's been hoisted up. Oh, and it's a walkway to the door as well. Yep, I really do like that. Fair play, mate, fair play. I absolutely love scrappy builds, and this one is by far one of the best I've ever seen, so thank you very much for entering Epic Face, and congratulations on the number 3 spot. So are you liking the camp so far, guys? I reckon they're pretty solid. But I bet some of you are thinking, you know what? I could have got in the top 5 this week with my build. Well then, if you're feeling extra spicy, click on the description of this video. You'll see a link to my Discord, and you can submit your camp there. And who knows, you could be in next week's top 5. Anyhow, now it's time to see who's coming the number 2 spot. This week, it's Jawa 4. Jawa? I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but I know that it's right. Anyway, I digress. Now, this is what I like to see, guys. People using the prefabs effectively. You know, not just slapping it down. Adding a little bit more to it. Even simple stuff like the railings used on this one really do transform it. Yes, I know it's only something small, but it just adds to it. I don't know. Speaking of adding to it, look how well the Raider Cage trees match into the prefab. You'd almost think they were part of a bundle, wouldn't you? What else is cool about this build is it's not just a prefab slap down either. There is, you know, a little scaffolding structure going down at the back as well, which, like the aforementioned trees, I think it fits in really well with the overall theme of the build. Now, just like Sweet Roll's build, the decoration on it isn't anything too taxing. It's really simple, it's just been very well placed, and with it being such a tiny area, yeah, it looks really, really cluttered. And in my opinion, the more something looks like a pensioner's mantelpiece, the better it is. Again, another fantastic build. Thank you very much, Jawa, for entering this week, and congratulations on the bloody number 2 spot. Simply lovely. So we've hit the number 1 spot, and who do you think's got it this week? Well, unfortunately, guys, I'm gonna have to keep you waiting for just a little bit longer, because it's time for the Honourable Mention section. Yes, and this week we've got 2, actually. Now, the first one is from Nina Alabaster, and what a fantastic name that is. Jesus, it just rolls off the tongue. Anyway, this one was chosen by Raker Wolf, and what we've got here is a diner, which in itself is a very complicated thing to build these days. And I've just noticed some light boxes at the front, and that is, yeah, that is top notch. I like that. Where this build really shines though is the interior and the way that Nina's filmed it, and I think it's Pulp Fiction. Again, another film I've not watched, but yeah, we'll just gloss over that and say that it is, and it is actually a really funny video to watch. Some of the dialogue in it is spot on.
God damn, it's a pretty fucking good milkshake.
Told you.
Nina, thank you very much for entering, and this was definitely worthy of a special mention. Now, the second honourable mention is one that I've chose, and I know I shouldn't because I'm not judging this week, but I just couldn't leave it out. This is Radrux's robot, and my god, what... Wow, absolutely incredible. I mean, how do you even think of... How does the brain come up with that? Bloody remarkable. Now, yes, this is built in custom worlds, but let me ask you something. Even in custom worlds, how many of you could do this? I know I bloody well couldn't. Definitely a lot of effort gone into it, and the way it's filmed as well, again, absolutely spot on. Radrux, thank you very much for entering, mate, and congratulations on this honourable mention. You really did deserve it. Fantastic work. Right then, so back to the top 5, and the winner this week in number 1 spot is, drumroll please, Hitbit with this absolutely simply lovely castle build. This is next level. Not only has she used the portcullis, which, as I've said before, is an absolute bastard to work with. It's been built in water, and we've got some hexagonal, octagonal, dodecahedronal designs going on here. Now, I have said it before, guys, to get that shape of build, you need to use blueprints. So it isn't just a case of slapping down the foundations and praying to God. There is a lot of work involved, let me tell you, but the work's paid off here, and that central keep looks absolutely bloody brilliant. You can tell this thing has been properly well put together and properly thought out as well. Even the stuff you don't see immediately, like the lights merge glitched into the walls. It's them kind of things that really add character to a build. As for the interior, yep, it's very much like the outside. Very well put together, and it matches the castle theme absolutely perfectly. And the way you've got all your mates involved as well. This is what I love about the community. You can really meet some truly decent people in it. And I don't know, it just adds a little bit of life to a build. Hitbit, thank you very much for entering. This was absolutely top notch, and congratulations on the number 1 spot. Hats off to you, mate. Fucking mate. Number 5 spot this week, we have Goldfinger with his Kung Fu Hustle Camp. And if you're a fan of Japanese architecture, this one's going to suit you right down to the ground, let me tell you. Now, I have seen quite a few Japanese-style temples built in Fallout 76, but I really do like how Goldfinger's done this one. For example, we've got some shoji walls going down. Are they called shoji walls? I don't know, paper buddy wall things. Ah, yeah, we'll go with that, shall we? I'm also absolutely buddy loving that entranceway. The use of the stone walls on it, simply lovely. Honestly, Goldfinger, so far, exterior-wise, you've absolutely nailed this one. It does look like a Japanese temple. Slash dojo slash kung fu things. Yeah. Jesus, it's so hard being this cultured. Anyhow, the interior decor is just as well done. We got a fair few plants knocking around, which again fits in perfectly with the theme, and of course we've got the good old merge glitches, and they're very well done. Quite simple, but very effective. Truth be told, Goldfinger, I really did like this camp, and the way that you filmed it was properly entertaining as well. Vielen Danke for entering this week, mate, and congratulations on number 5 spot. Right then, guys, just before we get to number 4 spot, just want to make you aware that it's good old TNG judging this week. Yes, I know, try to contain your excitement. So what I'm trying to say is, if there is any dislike Daves out there, feel free to launch your keyboard in my direction. Anyhow, back to the top 5. In the number 4 spot, you beautiful bunch of masochists, is Jawa 4. And what we've got here, guys, is a properly immersive looking camp in the middle of the ash heap. Now, a couple of things stood out to me on this one. The first thing, the location. Not many people tend to build in the ash heap. And you know what? I get it. It's because it's an absolute shithole. 100% agree with you on that one. But in terms of places to put down an immersive looking build, then it doesn't really get much better, does it? It looks like a properly post-apocalyptic landscape. And this camp fits in with it perfectly. It literally looks like somebody's thrown it together with any bits of crap they could find. Honestly, mate, you've done a really good job on this one. Like your camp last week, you seem to have a real knack for building scruffy style builds. And I've said it before, guys, and I'll say it again. It is hard to build this kind of camp. Making them look like it should be part of the wasteland, it's bloody difficult. I mean, just look at it, guys. All the little nooks and crannies in the passageways and, you know, different materials used to make it look like it's just been thrown together. This kind of stuff, I bloody love it. Jawa, what an incredible job you've done on this one. Thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, we have Moonlight Cowboy with the Ruby Cube build. Jesus, that just flows off the tongue. Ruby Cube. I love it. Apparently, this build took 32 hours to build, and I admire your masochism on this one, because it looks like an absolute pain in the bloody backside to build, proper kick in the penis. All them offset walls and building it on top of the structure in Charleston, yeah, there's a lot of effort gone into this, guys. Now, believe it or not, you can actually build on top of this in adventure mode, but it is quite difficult. I could be wrong, but the last time I tried it, you couldn't get foundations up there, which intrigues me, Cowboy. How have you managed to get the walls up there? Now, I can see one or two ways. Either you've used a catwalk glitch, or you can place foundations up there now. Like I say, I could be wrong, but let me know in comments. I promise I won't tell anyone. The attention to detail doesn't just end with the exterior. All in all, this build has 25 rooms decorated. 25 bloody rooms. Jesus Christ, I would sooner shove a hot poker right up my anus. Cowboy, I love your dedication on this one. Everything from the location to the difficulty of building the thing. It really is bloody commendable, mate. Hats off to you, pal. Thank you very much for entering this week, buddy, and congratulations on the number 3 spot. Simply lovely. Now then, guys, are you enjoying the entries so far? Personally, I absolutely bloody love them. But I bet there's some of you out there, like Mr. Internet User, who's thinking, you know what, my camp could have been in the top 5 this week. Well, it just so happens, if you're feeling extra spicy, you can find the link to my Discord in the description of this video. And if you do join, you can submit your camp to this competition. And who knows, you may be in next week's top 5. Now then, we come to the number 2 spot. And who do we think's got it this week? What's that, you at the back? Yes, you are 100% correct. We've got Milne with Leo's house. I'm not too sure who Leo is, but he sounds like a proper solid guy. Milne, this thing is bloody sublime. To me, I'm getting some old Moonshiner's cabin vibes. Really do love this one, pal. For the most part, it's a nice, simple, easy to do build, but I'm sure I'm seeing some angulation in the situation at the back there. It could just be the camera angle, or you have actually thrown out some shapes just like me on the dance floor. Nope, that's a lie. The only thing I throw out on the dance floor is my bloody back. I will say though, exterior aside, where Milne really excels is in how he decorates the build, and this one, it's no exception. Every single corner of the build is filled with something. Take the shelves for example. They're absolutely packed to the brim with clutter, and it really does give the camp a bit of character. You know, it makes it look like it's bloody lived in. And the best thing about it, it all flows. It's all keeping in with the theme of the ramshackle little cabin in the middle of the woods. To be 100% truthful with you, Milne, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, I think you're one of the best immersive decorators supporters in the 76 building community. All the builds I've seen from you now, they've all kept within the same style, and they're all beautifully done. Thank you very much for entering this week, buddy, and congratulations on number 2. Really well deserved. Now then, who's got the number 1 spot? These camps, you know, they're going to take some beating. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to keep you waiting for a little bit longer, because it's time for the honourable mention section. Yes, the part of the video where we take a look at the camps that just didn't make the top 5. And this week it's only Sai, with this simply lovely little hideaway home. Now mate, this was a beautiful build. I love how it's perched on the stone columns, which you've obviously spent some time merging together. And the location, spot on pal, really good choice. It looks like it's just hugging the hillside. And as for the interior, mwah, chef's kiss. Look at that kitchen. Properly well thought out and properly well put together as well. Only Sai, thank you very much for entering this week, buddy, and congratulations on the honourable mention. Now then, back to the top 5. And who do you think's got the number 1 spot this week? All the entries have been amazing, but there can only be one winner, so drum roll please. Congratulations, Nux Black Thumb with the van life build. This thing is just mind-blowing, and the fact you've done it in adventure mode is bloody crazy. Now, I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to know how you've done this. I can see a shit ton of merging, but above all, guys, and my favourite word's going to come out again, a shit ton of ingenuity. Ingenuity. When I see builds like this, it always makes me wonder how much of a masochist you have to be to come up with these ideas. I mean, you're using objects that was never intended for this purpose. For this, well, you know, purpose. The level of creativity is just mind-blowing. You know, it's like you take the building rules that Bethesda give us and you drop kick them through Todd Howard's front window. Honestly, I love it. What impressed me most about this build, though, was the interior. The way you've actually made it function like a camper van it's brilliant. My favourite bit about it was the floating bed. I don't know why, it just brings back memories of car shows for some reason. I don't know. This build was truly unique, properly ingenuitive, and more than deserving of the number 1 spot. Nux, thank you very, very much for entering this week, and congratulations on number 1. Hats off to you, mate. In the number 5 spot this week, we've got the man with the Midas touch. It's Goldfinger with his Blair Witch camp. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this is one of the best film camps that I have ever seen, then, you know, just take my word for it and go and bloody watch it. It's been properly well put together. Now, guys, just before we get into this, I just want to let you know that on this week's episode of films that TNG has never seen, Blair Witch is one of them. So if I do miss any references to the movie, I do apologise. Anyhow, amazing visuals aside, the build itself, I can't actually see much of it, but we can make out a couple of structures. We've got this little shrine here made up of the wavy willard stones, and let me tell you, that's took some putting together. Getting them stones to actually look like a structure and not just a couple of plastic pebbles stacked on top of each other, it's quite difficult. The other structure we've got is this tower thing here, and I think that's been built using the new mindset, although I could be wrong. Believe it or not, I have bought the build set, but I've not logged into 76 for about 9 months now, so yeah, I'm not too sure. Now, our judge this week, Radrux, said that he absolutely loves the way you've put all the trees around it. You know, gives it that overgrown kind of look. And I'm not going to lie, mate, the overall theme of this camp, you know, the horror movie style thing you've got going on, you have absolutely bloody nailed it. Like I said, guys, go and watch the video. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Goldfinger, thank you very much for entering this week, pal. Like I say, mate, you've absolutely nailed the horror movie theme. Everything from the location down to the way you presented your build, absolutely spot on. Congratulations on the number 5 spot. Very well deserved. Now then, just before we see the number 4 spot, I just want to make you aware that the judge for the camps this week is Radrux. He's an absolutely legendary builder, and some of his stuff is just mind-blowing. I urge you to go over to his channel and show him some love. I'm sure it would be very much appreciated. Anyhow, in the number 4 spot this week, we have Lady H with the Heart Bungalow, and this is absolutely beautiful. And not to mention, an absolute ball ache to build. We've got rounded corners, we've got merge glitches, we've got a bit of everything going down here. Now, I'm no camp building expert, let me tell you, but just to put it into perspective, to get that upper floor, you know, offset from the bottom floor, all them walls would have had to be flat bloated. Now, I'm not sure how you've done it, Lady H, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that you've built up a couple of stories of doorways and then deleted the ones on the bottom layer. Am I right? Probably not. Oh, you've got them corner pieces in though where it curves round. I'm guessing that's either blueprints or you've free-placed a wall. I'm not too sure though. Building methods aside, it looks absolutely stunning, and the way you've made the little chocolates inside with the tyres is extremely bloody clever. The interior is just as well put together. It's very clean, it's quite minimalistic to be fair, and it blends in with the theme of the exterior of the build perfectly. No, this is a scene I know very well, guys. Being on your knees, begging for your wife's forgiveness because you forgot to buy her a Valentine's Day present. Oh, that reminds me actually. Alexa, set reminder, Valentine's Day. All in all, Lady H, absolutely beautiful build. You can really tell you put some effort into this one. Thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the number 4 spot. Simply lovely. Coming in at number 3 this week, we have Am Castello. I hope I'm saying your name correctly there, pal. I don't really do, Spanish that well. To be honest, I don't English very well either, but I digress. Now, I've been following this guy for quite a while now. His builds are absolutely unbelievable, and yes, my favourite word is going to be used here again, very ingenuitive. And this Nuka City build is no different. Now, as Radrock said to me, some builders have their own trademark styles, and Am Castello's is small, little, miniature city builds like this. And let me tell you guys, they're absolutely mind-blowing. Every time I watch one of these, it's like, how do you do that? Now, yes, obviously, the merge glitch has been used quite a lot, but how do you get the different heights on the different buildings? Do you know what I'm saying? What's that, you at the back? No, you don't understand what I'm saying? You know what? Fair enough. I'll try and explain it to you. Say if I wanted to merge one item into a foundation, that's no problem whatsoever. But when you've got multiple items on a foundation like this, merging all of them in and getting them at the right height means that you have to have everything placed perfectly before you do it. Because if you bollocks it up, yep, you're going to have to start all over again. Another thing that messes with your head as well is the scale of it. In these builds, you'll see some quite large items, but they'll look exactly the same size as some of the smaller ones. And again, that's been achieved by the way that it's been merged together. Honestly, there's so much detail in this build and all of his other miniature builds. It's just, I wouldn't even attempt it. Am Castello, thank you very much for entering this week. This is honestly incredible. Congratulations on the number 3 spot. Bloody well deserved, mate. So how are you liking the camp so far, guys? I think they're bloody sublime. I've not got a bad word to say about them. However, I'm sure there's some of you guys out there that are thinking, you know what? My camp could have absolutely smashed these this week. And that may very well be true. However, you're not going to know unless you try, are you? So click on the description of this video. You'll see a link to my Discord. And in there, you can submit your camps. Give it a try, guys. Who knows? You may be in next week's top 5 camps. Anyhow, on to the number 2 spot. And this week, it's Fuzzbrain with his Guns and Poses boutique. And I think it's fair to say that all the Toxic Valley is covered in cocaine. I apologise, that was terrible, but it had to be done. Now, this video here isn't just a build, guys. It's a full-on tutorial. So if you do want to learn how to build this, head on over to Fuzzbrain's channel and he'll be able to show you, well, how to build it. Now, guys, if you've watched my channel for long enough, you'll know that I absolutely love shot builds. I like creating them, and I like seeing what other players come up with as well. Now, Fuzzbrain has absolutely smashed this one. It looks bloody immersive. That Pittsburgh set is very nice, but it is very bloody expensive as well. However, it does look bloody nice, doesn't it? Now, believe it or not, Fuzzbrain has actually built this around a small pre-existing structure as well. You can just see a little bit of it sticking out through the side there, which gives the exterior some more texture, and you can see the beams of it inside the build as well here. That is extremely bloody clever, and it can also be extremely bloody tricky. Pre-existing structures, most of the time, don't like to be built around. You can usually build inside of them pretty easily, or strap things to the side of them, but actually incorporating them into a build, yeah, it's not always plain sailing. Aside from the structure, the decor on this is absolutely on point. I love the little gun cabinet that you've made there. I think that looks bloody brilliant. And all the guns that you've got on display in your window at the front as well. Again, it looks fantastic. All in all, mate, you've absolutely nailed it with this one, pal. Hats off to you, mate. Thank you very much for entering this week, buddy, and congratulations on the number 2 spot. Very well deserved. Right then, so now we come to the number 1 spot. And who do you think's got it this week? Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep you waiting for just a little bit longer, because what time is it? Yep, that's right, you at the back. It's time for the honourable mention section. Yes, and this week, again, we have Only Sai with this beautiful modern home build. Now, I know some of you do not like modern homes, and you know what? That's fair enough. They're not everybody's cup of tea. But you can't deny there has been some bloody effort put into this. I mean, just look at it. It genuinely looks like, well, a modern house. And guys, let me tell you, builds like this, they aren't easy to design. Yes, they're a lot simpler to decorate than an immersive build, but coming up with that initial shape, yeah, it's actually quite a process, believe it or not. There's a lot of mad angles and strange shit going on with modern houses, so it does take a little bit of time to, you know, plan it all out. Only Sai, brilliant job with this one. Thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on yet another honourable mention. Simply lovely. Right then, back to the top 5 itself, and who do you think has got number 1 spot this week? There's been loads of entries this week, and there's been some serious competition. Alas though, there can only be one winner. And this time round, it is Hitbit with the semi-truck build. And yes, British viewers, I know that's an American way of saying it, but you can't really say semi-truck, can you? Doesn't sound right. Anyhow, as Radrux mentioned to me, some builders get their own trademark style of builds. And at this point, I don't think anybody does vehicles better than Hitbit. I mean, just look at this bugger. It looks like a truck. Genuinely looks like an actual truck. There is so much detail in it, it's bloody unreal. I mean, it's even got the mud flaps on the back of it. It's just mind-blowing. There's been so much merging here, I don't even know where to begin. Take a look at the bonnet, for example. That's all stash boxes merged down into each other. Fantastic. The wheels, I do believe, are made out of clocks. Again, really ingenuitive. And for Christ's sake, it even has a trailer hitch on it. It's these little details that make or break a camp. The truck itself has even got a sleeping quarters in it. And like Nux's build last week, it's even got a bunk bed on it. And I absolutely love that idea. It worked well in Nux's build, and it works bloody well in this one too. Hitbit didn't stop there either. He even put together this little cabin at the back as well. It's nice and simple, but it fits in with the overall theme of the area. Scrappy and immersive. Simply lovely. Hitbit, this build was, yeah, it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how you come up with even, you know, the idea to start making these. I won't know where to begin. Thank you very much for entering this week, and congratulations on the number 1 spot. Very well deserved. And what did you guys think of the camps this week? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that like button as well, or even the dislike button. It still counts as video interaction. As ever, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all my Patreons. The extra support is much appreciated. If that's something that any of you guys are interested in, the link's down in the description, along with all my other socials. Again, another massive thank you to Radrux for judging this week. It's much appreciated, mate, and I hope all of you guys go over to his channel and show him some love. Anyhow, that's it from me. I'll love you and leave you, and I'll catch you next one.